Dear students, welcome to the second unit, Unit 2, Lesson 1. Today's lesson is about books and reading. Books and reading. الكتب والقراءة. Let's warm up by asking and answering those two questions. When and where do you read? When and where do you read? Well, I read in spare time at home. When? In spare time. Where? At home. I read in spare time at home. Second question. What kind of things do you enjoy reading? I enjoy reading novels and poetry. I enjoy reading novels and poetry. When? We use this question when we ask about time. تستخدم السؤال عن الزمن أو الوقت. When الإجابة قد تكون سنة. لو سألنا when were you born. When أيضا الإجابة قد تكون وقت. In the summer. When do you go to Alexandria? In the summer. كلمة spare time معناها وقت الفراغ. I read in spare time. أقرأ أو أمارس هواية القراءة in spare time في وقت الفراغ. أداة السؤال الأخرى where تستخدم للسؤال عن المكان. Where were you born? أين ولدت? I was born in Egypt. مكان the place of birth is Egypt. مكان المولد. Where is Egypt located? Egypt is located in North Africa. في شمال أفريقيا. مكان. Why تستخدم السؤال عن السبب أو الاستفسار. ودائما the answer starts with because. What تستخدم السؤال عن الأشياء. What is your favorite hobby? ما هي هوايتك المفضلة. What is your favorite movie? What's your name؟ سؤال عن الأشياء. Novels معناها روايات. Singular novel رواية. Poetry هو الشعر. Poem قصيدة. Okay. Read the conversation, then answer the following questions. Tariq. This is a conversation between Tariq and Omar. Tariq, I have some time before my next lesson. Let's choose a book to read. لدي بعض الوقت قبل بداية الدرس القادم أو التالي. Let's choose. Choose معناها يختار. A book to read. So Tariq wants to read a book. Omar, there are lots of historical stories here. There are قلناش there is لأن في جمع. There are lots of historical stories قصص تاريخية. But there are few detective stories قصص بوليسية. Detective stories. يوجد الكثير من القصص التاريخية وقليل من القصص البوليسية. طارق That's because detective stories are more popular. Aren't they? أليس كذلك؟ هذا السبب هو أن القصص البوليسية محبوبة أكثر، لديها شعبية أكثر، لديها قراء أكثر. People like trying to solve the problems before the detective. الناس تحاول أن حل المشكلة قبل أن يقوم المحقق أو المفتش المباحث بحلها. إذن هنا detective stories are more interesting than the historical stories. People have less interest, اهتمام أو رغبة in historical stories. الناس لديهم اهتمام أقل بالقصص التاريخية. عمر detective stories are too long. طويلة جدا. I have little time. قليل من الوقت to read this year because I have more school work. هنا بيقول أنا لدي وقت قليل للقراءة، ممارسة هواية القراءة. Why? Because he has more school work. مذاكرة. So I want a book with fewer pages than a detective story. إذن هنا historical stories are too long as well as detective stories. So he wants a book with fewer pages than both. طارق, this book has the fewest number of pages. خلي بالك هنا كل ده comparatives. Fewer, fewest هناخدها في the next lesson about superlatives and comparatives. مقارنات. And will take you the least amount of time to read. Least, fewer, fewest, few, little, more, most. كل دي comparatives و superlatives. عمر, طارق, that book is about traveling, isn't it? طارق, true. حقيقي, نعم. This book is good. Its title is 10 facts about the world. 10 حقائق عن العالم. عمر, the title of the book is 10 facts about the world. Omar, I read a review of that book. I read, مش I read هنا. read هنا التصريف الثاني للفعل في زمن الماضي. I read a review of that book. It said it was very good. I'll read that. إذن, ultimately, Omar decided to read that book titled 10 Facts About the World. It is a small book with fewer pages than historical stories and detective stories. Let's read some vocabulary here. Let's study some vocabulary here. choose يختار historical stories قصص تاريخية few قليل fewer أقل من few least الأقل detective stories قصص بوليسية أو روايات بوليسية popular محبوب أو ذو شعبية أو مرغوب interest اهتمام too long طويل جدا little time القليل من الوقت pages صفحات طبعا دي plural السنجولار page or page ومعناها صفحة book review نبذة عن الكتاب نبذة مختصرة نظرة شاملة باختصار عن الكتاب هنا نعود عمر said I read a review of that book قرأت نبذة عن هذا الكتاب خد نظرة شاملة وعامة عن الكتاب لم يقرأ الكتاب كله it said it was very good how did he know it was very good because he read a review of the book let's اختصارا هنا contraction let us هيا بنا أو هيا let's read هيا نقرأ أو هيا بنا نقرأ now let's answer some questions about this conversation 1. What does Tariq want to do before his next lesson? ماذا يريد أن يفعل طارق قبل الدرس القادم؟ نعود إلى القطعة He said he wants to choose a book to read. He wants to choose a book to read. Second question, why does Tariq say that detective stories are more popular than historical stories? Because لقصص البوليسية أكثر مرغوبة أكثر من القصص التاريخية because detective stories are more popular, are more interesting, Detective stories are more interesting than historical stories. Third question, why doesn't Omar have very much time to read this year? لماذا لدى عمر القليل من الوقت أو ليس لديه كثير من الوقت للقراءة هذا العام because he has هنا the answer is implied in the conversation الإجابة متواجدة في conversation نفسها المحادثة because he has a lot of school work الكثير من المذاكرة because he has a lot of school work. Question number 4. What kind of book does Tariq recommend to Omar? A book about traveling كتاب عن السفر a book about traveling. Last question, how does Omar know that 10 Facts About the World is a good book. كيف عرف عمر أن كتاب 10 Facts About the World كتابا جيدا؟ Because he read a review of the book. قرأ نبذة مختصرة عن الكتاب and he found it to be interesting. إلى هنا نصل إلى نهاية الدرس. See you next time.